What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Canelo Alverez. Canelo Alverez says that he lost to Floyd Mayweather for one reason. He says, I think Mayweather's style would make it hard for any fighter. It's a tough style to face. His style is one where he never takes risk. He never puts himself at risk in any fight. That makes things more difficult. I think it was his experience which beat me that night. He has a lot of experience. He is a great fighter, and he showed it that night. He showed why experience is important in boxing. Those are the words of Canelo Alvarez. And let me counterpunch. I think, yes, the experience had a lot to do with a lot of stuff. He was 36 years of age, and I think Canelo was, 23. Okay, so Canelo had over 40 fights at that time. He wasn't a spring chicken at all. He was a pro 7 years at that time. And I think with Canelo, I think the experience wasn't the major factor. Sure, it adds to the ass whooping. It sure does. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think the main factor was the experience. I think that's just him saying that he was just better. I think it was the style. See, what Canelo needs to understand is what Oscar's been saying since he's left Oscar, that Canelo has cement feet. He's not as fast on his feet as you think he is. He's built from the ground up. I think here's the good thing and bad thing about Canelo. I think Canelo's never been down because he was built from the ground up. He does have a solid foundation. Him and guys like Danny Garcia are really solid foundation fighters. They're really solid. You know what I mean? Their balance is very sturdy, just like Golovkin. These guys like that. Golovkin's a little bit more versatile than both of them, honestly. But both of those guys, Garcia and Canelo, they can't handle somebody light on their feet like Floyd. That's why Bivol beat him. Bivol beat him like a Pacquiao would beat someone if he just gave you punches and bunches, and he kept you always on the defensive. And he never got tired, and he never stopped throwing, and he always was on the defense. But then the offense was always in your face. Whereas Floyd was right in front of you like a mongoose, and you couldn't do anything with him because he would slip, dip, bob, weave, go in and go out as he pleased. Bars. Okay? So I think the footwork was the problem. Okay, the counterpunching was the problem. See, the experience. I think Canelo is going to have problems with a fighter like that all the time. The only difference is he hasn't fought a guy like that in a very long time. We thought Caleb Plant was about it. He couldn't hit hard enough. We thought Billy Joe was about it. He couldn't hit hard enough. He got cracked. Okay, it was just, one wrong move. He pulled that shit with Lara, and it was very controversial, which was a guy that's light on his feet. Not really much these days, but back in those days, Erislandy Lara could box you, move you, 75-inch reach out and touch you, and you couldn't touch anything. Okay, those fights were similar. The only difference was Alexander Usyk fought him. Erislandy Lara fought him on the outside, and Money Mayweather fought him on the inside. Floyd was right in front of him. Lara was out. Bang, bang, bang. That, and it's really the only difference. Either way, Canelo had problems trying to find those guys. Now, to be honest, the most impressive was Floyd, because Floyd was right in front of him. Whereas Erislandy Lara took his time, took walks around the block, bop, 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 bop. He completed that process. I just think he should have done more of that. He should have done more of the jab, jab, left hand, jab, jab, left hand, jab, left to the body, jab upstairs, jab to the body. He should have done more of that. He should have doubled up. But he probably would have still lost because the way those scorecards were absolute over-the-mill bullshit. Okay? But no, I think anybody with that type of footwork that type of footwork hand speed, he's not going to really deal with. He's going to always have problems. Now, when somebody comes forward, he's going to beat the shit out of you. Or if you don't and you decide not to punch, he's going to track you down and beat the shit out of you. That's Canelo Alvarez. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Canelo Alvarez saying the only reason he lost to Floyd Mayweather. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.